ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतिसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं श्रीपरमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण। Please make notes. Yes, anyone remembers what we discussed last class? Yes, who is speaking?
Yes.
Yes, Ajay Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So last class, the last section of last class, steps of that section 6 and how Kasyapa Muni completely thoroughly bowled out by the artificial service of Mata Diti, and how he is forced to give benediction to Diti for his son. And when he came to know that the service was artificial and desire was different in Diti's mind, he came to know his mistake, and he tried to find out the way how Diti's can be saved, Diti's mind can be purified, and how Indra can be saved so that he will not be responsible to take the responsibility to kill Indra. We discussed all these things and how also Indra's mind was purified, and what did he do, Kasyapa, so that Diti's mind also was purified.
Okay, very good. Yes, Nidhi Mataji.
Prabhuji and I was trying to say the same thing, that Kashyap Muni tried to purify Diti Mata, because originally she is purified only, but because of some contamination, some malice in his mind, in her mind, she got contaminated and had ill feeling for Indraji, and he wanted to purify her so that the problem is sorted once and for all. That's what you
Okay,
said.
so
And
how
said,
she got
so
purified?
The Mata told the entire thing, that why she was doing the punya.
But what was the way that Diti got purified? How Diti got purified? Yes, Pavan Krishna Prabhu.
They did Pumsavan for Lord Vishnu for 1 year.
Okay, so then what happened with that Pumsavan Vrat?
So when she was doing Pumsavan Vrat, then Indra came to know that this is weak, and then in the garb of trying to help her, he was just observing when Diti will make the mistake.
So Indra comes to serve and trying to observe Diti, how when she will make mistake, and I will, and Diti did made a mistake, yes. And then.
And after she made a mistake, then Indra entered her womb and cut her womb into 7 pieces. But her womb didn't die, rather it got converted into 7 children. Then after once again it got converted into 49 children. And all of them were saying that don't kill us, we are your friends.
Very good. So we saw last class that how powerful is devotional service, that all, both Diti and Indra were trying to render devotional service completely with wrong motivations, but they got purified. And then we were discussing that if devotional service is so powerful that even if wrongly done, with wrong intentions, motivations, as done by Indra and Diti, if they are wrongly done also, there is such immense power to purify within devotional service. So if that is what is devotional service, then why would Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur make a point of Anartha Nivritti? Yes, as a stage. And we were discussing in the end that Anartha Nivritti is automatically done by devotional service, but the sadhaka needs to endeavor to get rid of aparadhas. Yes, do you remember? This is where we ended. Okay, yes, Mona Lisa Mataji wants to speak something.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
धन्यवाद।
नहीं, मुझे वही बोलना था कि the practitioners has to be careful not to make नाम अपराध, गुरु अपराध, वैष्णव अपराध, तो अपराध से बचना है।
Yeah, very good.
Only devotional service will be.
So we will. Yeah, very good. So the practitioner, the sadhaka, has to be getting rid of Nam Aparad, Guru Aparad, and Vaishnava Aparad. These aparadhas are actually obstacles to performance of devotional service, and that is Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti is the stage where the practitioner consciously tries to avoid aparadhas. Is that clear? The definition? The definition of the stage of Anartha Nivritti, because one is doing Bhajana Kriya. And if one does Bhajana Kriya, the heart is going to get purified. That's the automatic, obvious thing. But if we are not careful of avoiding the aparadhas, if we are not consciously trying to understand what are the aparadhas and how to avoid it, then we may land up into problem. Is that clear? Sorry, I just took five minutes of recap. Hare Krishna. So let's start today's class. Because, yes, Nidhi Mataji wants to speak some last point. Please unmute.
Prabhuji, out of this aparadhas, Nam Aparad, Guru Aparad, and Prabhu Aparad, which one is most ghastly?
Okay. Nam Aparad, Guru Aparad, and Prabhu Aparad, Vaishnava Aparad.
Vaishnava Aparad.
Prabhu Aparad, nice name. So there are actually 4 aparadhas, technically speaking. Seva Aparad, Nam Aparad, Guru Aparad, Shastra Aparad, and Vaishnava Aparad. These are all the 5. How much did I say?
5.
सेवा अपराध, नाम अपराध, गुरु अपराध, शास्त्र अपराध, शास्त्र निंदा और अपराध, and Vaishnav aparadh. These are the 5 aparadhas, out of which, according to Narottam Das Thakur and all our acharyas, Vaishnav aparadh and Guru aparadh is the most horrible. That is like Hati Matta, the mad elephant. So, offense. So, we will discuss about it technically, elaborately as we go ahead. But let's focus on the topic of today's discussion, if you allow, with your permission.
Prabhuji, one more question, and the last one. Prabhuji, it's like a pure devotee or a good devotee is already doing Kirtanam. He's already past that stage. So another Nivritri has started for that devotee. Right? Now the sufferings are still there because he still continues to do offenses.
The sufferings may not be necessarily due to the offenses. The sufferings can be the last traces of one's karma. The sufferings can be arranged by Krishna so that we don't become complacent in devotional service. The sufferings can be to glorify that devotee, that in spite of the sufferings, this devotee is doing devotional service. So these are the 3, or the sufferings can be because of the karma that one gets by having disciples. So these are the 4 reasons a devotee gets suffering in his or her life. The first one, that the devotee gets suffering because of the last traces of karmic reactions, his or all karma, which Krishna wants that the person should suffer. The second one, this is arranged by Krishna so that the devotee doesn't become complacent in his or her devotional service, because if Krishna understands that if all the karmic reactions are gone, this devotee will just put a green flag to me and say, Krishna, I am going. And the third reason, the sufferings are given to a devotee's life to glorify the devotee, so that like Srila Prabhupada, when he went to America, he got heart attack. So he didn't got heart attack because of some karmic reactions, but he got a heart attack so that he is glorified. Everywhere in all the introductions of Srila Prabhupada, the first and foremost glorification of Srila Prabhupada is that at the age of 69, he went in Jaladuta and he got heart attack, and still he went on his journey to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya. So Krishna gives to glorify the devotee. And the last one, Krishna may give distress or sufferings, or one may get a little bit of distress, bodily distress, because of the karmic reactions of his or her disciples. So these are the reasons why one gets sufferings. Okay, can we go ahead? We will take the questions in the end. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So now the question is, we all understand that aparadhas are dangerous and all. The question is, what is the root cause of all the aparadhas? What causes these aparadhas? Yes, Selja Mataji has the answer. Yes.
Due to our false ego, Prabhuji.
Okay, very good. False ego. Give a nice terminology for it. Contaminations. Okay, Vijay Prabhu has raised a hand.
Fault finding nature.
Fault finding nature. Fault finding nature. Very good. Santanu Prabhu is raising hand.
So
we commit aparadh whenever we see any spiritual entity or object with material consciousness, like Guru, Shastras. When we have the material outlook to a spiritual thing, then we commit aparadh towards in that sense.
So having a material outlook for a spiritual thing, very good. Sabyasachi Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu, the aparadha may be related to the self-arrogance and because of the opulences may be knowledge, beauty and so forth, what is described in the Shastras. And these revolve around the I, the me of the person who is doing the aparadha. He is not interested to listen to anybody, but he is having that kind of material or spiritual opulences, if not elevated to a higher platform, the person can make up.
Yeah, very good. Self-arrogance. Yes, Ansuman Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dambalatpuram. Prabhuji, as per Bhagavad Gita, the lust and anger, that it is the cause of all the sinful activities. And the source of this lust and anger is the envy. Just like Kaurav also, that envious the nature, and that lust anger that creates all the sinful activities. Or sinful say, then that aparadh comes from there.
Okay, so sinful activities creates aparadh. Yes, Kushal Bihari Prabhu.
So due to our deep-rooted envy towards Krishna, we find faults. We seem we are actually Krishna, and we want to become Krishna, and then we see others' mistakes.
Okay, so you are Krishna, yes. And our tendency to become Krishna is aparadh. Yes, Bhisma Prabhu. What causes aparadh?
False ego, Prabhu.
Okay, Bhisma Prabhu wants to support Selja Mataji. False ego, yes. Nidhi Mataji, last point.
Even I was telling false ego, Prabhu.
Okay, so false ego has got a lot of votes. Hare Krishna. So, Selja Mataji is dancing in ecstasy.
Ego, Prabhu. That is only the false ego.
So what causes aparadh is all the causes what you said. All different things what you mentioned is all the causes of aparadh. But the primary cause of aparadh is a feeling of superiority. It can be false pride, it can be false ego, but just a feeling of superiority that I am great. I am no less. I am something. So this feeling forces one. Definitely we are great, but sometimes we are forced to believe by our false ego or whatever it is that I am the only great. I am the great. I am the only great. And these two tendencies of arising out of pride creates aparadhs. Now, pride can come in the heart, like our Sabyasachi Prabhu was telling that someone is proud of learning or some Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shrivir, as Kunti Maharani was telling, tells Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shrivir, Edhamana Madah Puman Naivarhati Abhidhatum Vai Twamakinchana Gocharam. This is a verse, a prayer by Kunti Maharani, that when Krishna is leaving Hastinapur, making the Pandavas the greatest, the Samrat of the entire earth or Sarvabhauma, of the entire Bharata Varsha. We think Bharata is just a small piece of land in the corner of Asia. So that's not Bharata Varsha. Bharata Varsha is a Varsha. You can ask Kushal Bihari Prabhu, he will give the Vedic map. We have the Google map for only the world, but that there is a Vedic map which tells about the Varsas, the 9 Varsas, and then the Bharata Varsas, the Ilavrata Varsas, that Kim Purusha Varsha, and all the Varsas. So the Bharata Varsha is a big piece of land. It's a big chunk of land. So the Pandavas were ruling the entire Bharata Varsha. And when Kunti Maharani saw that how Krishna installed the Pandavas as the Samrat of all these opulences, then Kunti Maharani speaks. And Krishna was living. And Kunti Maharani is, out of her humility, is telling that now, because we have got so much of opulence, we are at a risk of becoming proud. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta and Shrivi. Janma is high birth, Aishwarya is wealth, and Shruta is learning, and Shri is beauty. And now that you are living, because you live with a person who do not possess anyone, akinchana gochara. Or you live with a person who do not possess the mentality that I possess something. Even if he possesses a lot of things, even if one has a lot of wealth, even if one has a lot of things, but we should understand these are all given by Krishna. So like that, Kunti Maharani speaks that how these things have a tendency to make one proud. But problem is, the pride is such a horrible anartha that one can have nothing and can be proud. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada says that a beggar is sometimes seen to be proud of his own penny. And a dog is proud of a land which he has marked with his own urine. You have seen the dogs, very nice tendency. Just go sniff it and just put their leg up and then put a demarcation. Like we have India, China, Russia. We demarcate. Actually, the tendency is the same. The tendency is the same. Whether we, as big world leaders, we try to demarcate line of control and all those things, or the dog is demarcating with the line of control by raising the legs and all, the tendency is that this is my land. If you enter, wow, wow, wow. With all due respect to all the lines that have been made in today's world and how much fighting is happening. And I have seen when we were in course of getting the land in Bhubaneswar, and the side owner, they would every 6 months they would take 1 foot of the land, little bit, they would shift the boundary like this. I don't know what they would do, what is this tendency, but this is how is the mentality of a dog, trying to urinate and making a boundary, and the next dog comes, it sniffs, oh, and understands ki, oh, this is the boundary of Sri Nitai Das and no one should enter it. This is the mentality of a dog. So one can be proud of nothing. But when one has lot of things, then one runs into risk of committing offenses. So being proud is a tendency. It is not dependent on what we have. You are able to understand what I am saying? So being proud, being arrogant not necessarily that when you have lot of learning, lot of wisdom, lot of wealth, lot of beauty, then you will be proud. It's not necessarily. One can be very ugly and still be proud. So pride is an anartha that is present in the heart of a person, irrespective of what he possesses or she possesses. But when such a proud person who already have this gets lot of opulences, then that makes him or her susceptible to commit aparadhas. Is the concept clear? Imagine a beggar is proud, but he has almost less probability of committing some aparadhas because he's a beggar. What she can do. But imagine a wealthy person is proud. He has a lot of opportunities to express his arrogance. And that expression of one's arrogance and pride is aparadh. How you express it explicitly. It's there in your heart. It's there in everyone's heart. It's there in the heart of a beggar. It's there in the heart of the most ugly person. It's there in the heart of the most foolish person. But when such personalities get these opulences, they try to express. The pride is expressed. And when the pride is expressed, it creates aparadhas. And this pride exists in 4 levels we will discuss. We will do a little bit of, sometimes you have seen called dissections. You know what is called dissection? I don't know what, putting a frog. My mother wanted me to become a doctor, and I also had a lot of interest for medicals and doctors and everything. And this is how your desire gets fulfilled. I had a desire to become a doctor, but then I understood that you have to cut frogs and they will die. So, and I was like strict vegetarian from childhood, so I thought, no, I'll not become a doctor. But now Krishna gave me so many diseases, I know more medicines than the doctors. Recently, I went to my doctor and I was giving him suggestions, what all tests you can make and all those things. And he was writing all the tests. I said, you make all these tests on my body and find out, I think this is where the problem lies and all those things. So dissection means putting a frog on the plate and trying to cut it and finding opening up. So we will do some dissection analysis of pride today. So this pride exists at 4 levels. The lowest and the grossest, easiest to determine and find out is the pride at a bodily level or a level to get bodily things or gross things. The striking example of pride, arrogance at a very, very gross level, yes, is anyone who became proud on a very, very gross level. Yes. Shalja Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can be proud of our beauty.
Example from scriptures.
Like Duryodhan.
Okay, Duryodhan is example for envy. Not exactly pride. Yes, Ankit Prabhu.
Suruchi in the past time of Maharaj.
Suruchi was proud, definitely, because of her beauty and how Tanpa is, but not such a prominent example, very prominent. Yes, Pavan Krishna or Sanjukta? Who is the hand is raised? Yes, Pavan Krishna, Prabhu.
Nalakuber and Manigriv.
Okay, Nalakuber and Manigriv was intoxicated with proud. Very good example. Yes, or Samapriya.
Prabhu, Ravana?
Ravana was proud. Ravana had everything. So Ravana is an exceptional. Ravan, Kumbhakarna, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Dantabhakra and Sisupal, they were exceptional demons. They were specially created by the Supreme Lord to fight. So their examples are, okay, Daksha, angry on Lord Shiva. Daksha had pride. Very good. Nice example. Okay. Daksha's example, we'll do a big dissection for almost an entire, yes, Kushal Bihari Prabhu.
Sharmishta was proud of her Brahman.
Yes, Sharmishta and Devyani was proud. Very good. All these very good examples you are. I don't know, others know these pastimes. Sharmishta and Devyani pastime is so interesting, so nice, so nice. Really, really, really. One time we will discuss on Yayati Maharaj. Okay.
She was proud for her
Who?
husband Shiva.
Who?
So she could not take the insult of Shiva by Daksha. So she
Okay,
offered
Sati's pride is considered positive. Sati's pride is considered positive. That is, Sati was proud definitely, but that is considered positive. Yes, Vijay, Prabhu. I don't know how you are missing.
Indra's pride
No.
when Brihaspati, he doesn't respect her.
Okay, Indra is proud, but what is the most prominent example of Indra's pride?
Not giving respect to
No. What is the most prominent example of Indra's pride? Yes, very good. Indra gave so much of. Indra is a devotee. The Brajavasis are the topmost devotees. And Indra is not a demon. And Indra wanted to wipe out from the geography Vrindavan Dham. Can you imagine? The Google Maps today showing Vrindavan, and Indra, that next day when you open Google Map, it's a lake. So that was Indra's plan. And what Indra was speaking when the Brajava, actually Krishna knew the heart of Indra. That Indra was falsely proud, thinking, I am the enjoyer of all these opulences, I am the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. Because all the sacrifices that are performed goes through Indra. And when everything goes through you, especially you have seen more than the pride of a bureaucrat, the secretary is proud. Because the file goes through the secretary. It's called the pride of being a chaparasi of a big person. Chaparasi ka ahankar. Now the secretary, because all the files are going through him and he's keeping all the secrets and all those things, and the secretary thinks, oh, just see, if I do not give permission, no one can meet Sri Nitai Das, or I'm not such a big person, or maybe such and such Maharaj, or such and such IS officer. Hare Krishna. So Indra is just a via medium, is just the secretary. For all these sacrifices being performed, Indra is simply a secretary to make these sacrifices reach Krishna. But he thought that I am not the secretary, I am the recipient. I am not the instrument, I am the recipient of all the opulences. So this is an example of a gross pride, that where one thinks that the opulences after becoming a devotee that is coming, especially gross facilities, the gross facilities that come after being a devotee. Who gives you a garland? Tell me. I don't think if I would have been, if I would have continued my material journey, being an IIT and all those, I would be a CEO of some company, and I don't think I would have ever got a garland. I don't think so. No one would have been giving a garland. So being a devotee, we get so much of material facilities, right? My cook got stuck in the home when he had gone, and so many devotees calling, Prabhuji, I want to cook, I want to cook, I want to cook. So we get a lot of material facilities when we become a devotee. And pride means that one can get attached, or one can think that I am the beneficiary or recipient of these facilities. I am so great. Just look at me. So many people want to serve me. So Indra was having this tendency, and Krishna knew, and Krishna did a surgery. The pastime is, all of you know about it, and we will discuss elaborately in our next Janmashtami Katha about Indra. We have never discussed about it on a very elaborate level. So Indra is an example, perfect example. And also Nalakuber, Manigriv and all those, they were also enjoying. And someone said Suruchi, Sarmishta, all these are examples definitely. But the most prominent example in scriptures of enjoying the gross facilities and being proud of the gross facilities is Indra. So in this way, as a devotee, we would see that we would get lot of devotional opulences. We would get different types of opulences, and we should never think or become proud that I have become so great now. People are offering me obeisances. People are giving me gifts. And people are ready to serve me. So these tendencies are very, very dangerous, and we start thinking I am a very great person. And as soon as we start thinking I am a great person, my Gurudev says that's the beginning of our fall. Pride comes before fall. So this is one. So the second level is the level of a mind. Mind is the seat of attention, adoration, respect, emotions. So a person who has pride at a level of mind thinks that all respect is for me. I am the cause of everything that is happening. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says about the making our work worshipable. The very famous verse that is Karmanyavadikaraste ma phalesu kadachana. Phalesu kadachana. The tendency to get fruits is the enjoying the fruits of devotional service or enjoying the fruits of serving Krishna. Gross. That is like having proud that I am the enjoyer of the fruits. And at a subtle level, on a mental level, the pride can exist that I am so great that everyone should respect me. Everyone should adore me. And most of the problems as a devotee, as a sadhaka, can come from this pride, this tendency to seek respect. Sometimes we may guide someone, sometimes we may speak and preach. Most of the times, if we are not careful, our tendency to preach is not out of our compassion, but it is out to get some people who would hear from us, and we feel that from our heart, that just see, previously when I used to speak, not even my wife used to hear. Now you see, so many people are hearing, making notes. I become great. They are putting dandavats. They are telling, oh, Prabhuji, you said a point which I remembered, and I am following it throughout my life. So, we are not speaking about Krishna, we are not preaching to establish ourselves. We are preaching to establish Krishna in the hearts of others, to establish how great is Krishna. And the ability to establish Krishna's greatness, the ability to speak about Krishna is not our ability. It is gifted by Srimati Radharani and all the acharyas so that we can glorify Krishna. Preaching is not to show our prowess. Preaching is not to show how great we are. Preaching is not to get followers. It's the most wonderful way to express our kindness to someone. It's the most wonderful gift that we can give. It's in the mood of sharing what we have received. But the danger is this, that when we start preaching, we get affected by pride, that just see how many people are hearing from me, how many views I have got, what is happening, who is hearing, what comments they are making, and one can get completely mad after it. And then one will fail to respect others. Any striking spiritual example, scriptural example on this regard? Yes. Okay, Nidhi Mataji.
Prabhuji, Durvasa Muni.
Okay, Durvasa Muni was proud of his yogic powers, not exactly for preaching or whatever, speaking, but yes, Durvasa Muni wanted respect and all those things. Yes, Ritu Mataji.
Digvijay Pandit, Prabhu.
Digvijay Pandit, very good. Digvijay Pandit is an example of pride out of intelligence, learning. So that we will discuss elaborately in the next third level. But yes, Digvijay Pandit also wanted adoration. Yes. Udit Prabhu.
Romharsha Sutta.
Very good. Romharshan Sutta. I don't know how many of you know the example of Romharshan Sutta. So we will take the first verse on Romharshan Sutta. It's a very interesting personality. So Romharshan Sutta is the disciple of Vasudev. So he used to address the sages of Naimisharanya. So, and this, the sages of Naimisharanya used to hear discourses from Romaharsana Sutta. Lot of people used to come and hear. Even the Brahmanas used to come. Though Sutta is of a lower origin by birth, but because he was a disciple of Vasudev, he was so opulent in speaking about the scriptures that so many great sages used to hear from him. Now Balramji, he didn't want to participate in Kurukshetra war because he was favorable to Duryodhana and he was also favorable to the Pandavas, and he thought that Pandavas will come, Duryodhana will come, which side I will take, and I will be put in an embarrassing situation whether to take side of my disciple Duryodhana or whether to take side of Dharma. Better I go for pilgrimage. Whenever you get into this, we can learn from Lord. Whenever we fall into a dilemma, what to do, go for pilgrimage, go for spiritual outing, then you will understand what. So the Lord goes for a spiritual tour, and Lord finally reaches Naimisharanya. And all the sages stand up, the Brahmanas stand up. Everyone is standing up, receiving Balramji, and Romaharsana Sutta is simply sitting. Hare Krishna. He's not standing up. He's smiling because so many people. Actually, the Lord arrived, Balramji arrived when there was a Bhagavatam class going on. Romaharsana Sutta was giving a class. All the sages were there. Everyone was hearing with rapt attention to Romaharsana Sutta. And Balramji entered. And when Balramji entered, all the sages stood up, the Brahmanas stood up, everyone stood up, and Romaharsana was sitting in Vyasasan and sitting and looking and observing. And then this is what Balramji speaks. I think this is the verse. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Risher Bhagavato Bhutva.
Risher Bhagavato Bhutva.
Sisyo Dhitya Bahunicha.
Shishyo Dhitya Bahunicha.
Setihasa Puranani.
Setihasa Puranani.
Dharma Sastrani Sarvasaha.
Dharmashastrani Sarvasaha.
Adantasyani Vinitasya.
Adantasya Vinitasya.
Vritha Pandita Maninaha.
Vritta Pandita Maninaha.
Na gunaya bhavanti sma.
Na gunaya bhavanti sma.
Natasyeva jitatmanaha.
Natasyeva jitatmanaha. Translation
and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Although Romaharsana Sutta is a disciple of the divine sage Vyasa, this is Balramji speaking, and has thoroughly learned many scriptures from him, including the law books of religious studies and the epic histories and the Puranas. All this study has not produced good qualities in him. Rather, his study of scriptures is like an actor studying his part, for he is not controlled or humble and vainly presumes himself of scholarly authority, though he has failed to conquer his own mind. Hare Krishna. His study of scriptures is like an actor studying his own part. Hare Krishna. So Romaharshan Sutta, he studied so much of scriptures, but he thought that I have read all the scriptures and everything, so people should respect me. To the extent that he didn't even thought it wise to respect Balramji, who is Adi Guru. Hare Krishna. He didn't even stand. And he was just sitting. And Balramji proclaims that I have incarnated to vanquish these type of demons in the grab of devotees. And Balramji takes a kusa grass. It's a forest, so there is a grass. So takes a dry blade of grass. One is single blade, not a big bush of bunch of grasses. One small blade of grass. Balramji takes it and touches the blade to the neck of Romaharshan Sutta. And the neck and the torso gets divided, and Hare Krishna. The head just becomes like a football and just lies down. Hare Krishna. This is the first and last murder on a Vyasasana. Till date, there has been no murder happened, never, when for someone sitting on Vyasasana. Only Balramji can do it. And all the sages said, hi, 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 hi. What happened, what happened, what happened? And then Balramji blesses Romaharshan Sutta's son, the Sutta Goswami, the famous speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. And by the blessings of Balramji, Sutta Goswami, the son of Romaharshan Sutta, speaks Srimad Bhagavatam to the sages of Naimisharanya that we are reading. What we were reading, the version of Bhagavatam that we are reading, is Sutta Goswami speaking to sages of Naimisharanya Srimad Bhagavatam. And this Sutta Goswami is the son of Romaharshan Sutta being blessed by Balramji. But the point is, Romaharshan Sutta, because he read some scriptures and he was a disciple of Vasudev, he thought that everyone should respect me. Everyone should adore me. To the extent that even Balramji, why Balramji, I have to stand? So, in this way, we land up into problem and dangers of having pride at the level of mind or accepting adoration. And the third level is more subtle. So as we go up, it becomes subtle, is the pride of learning. As Ritu Mataji was telling about the Digvijay Pandit, but Digvijay Pandit was not a devotee, and because we are all devotees, we will take for next 15 minutes a very striking example from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita of how a devotee can land up into problems because of false pride out of her learning. Okay, Hare Krishna. So there is a great devotee. His name is Vallabha Bhatt. He is actually the Sampradaya Acharya of Kumar Sampradaya. His Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to Varanasi, I think Varanasi or Prayag, I don't remember, I think Prayag. When Lord Chaitanya went to Prayag, this Vallabha Bhatt received Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya gave him a lot of mercy. So he used to reside at Prayag and he was a great soul. He had two sons, he's Acharya of Kumar Sampradaya. That is called the Pusti Marg. Great devotee. And he came to Jagannath Puri to meet Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when he came to Jagannath Puri, he paid obeisances to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he started glorifying Lord Chaitanya. Oh, you are the Supreme Lord. You came, and when you came, you propagated the Sankirtan movement. By your propagation of the Sankirtan, so many people are becoming devotees. Everyone is becoming devotee. You are so great. And interestingly, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Vallabha Bhatt started glorifying him, Lord Chaitanya said, you see, Vallabha, I am not even a devotee. I have taken initiation of sannyas from a Mayavadi school. You know the Mayavadis, we have discussed sometimes elaborately. The people who consider Krishna as, they consider themselves as God. That is what. And Krishna or Vishnu as Maya. So that is Mayavadi. They are like aparads. They do aparads to Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya took sannyas from the Mayavadi philosopher school. His guru was a Mayavadi sannyasi. So Lord Chaitanya says, I am not a devotee, Vallabha. Oh Bhatta, I am not a devotee. I am just a Mayavadi sannyasi. I have learnt all devotional service from Advaita Acharya. Whatever devotional service I know is from Advaita Acharya. He is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord. He is unparalleled in his devotional conclusions. And whatever devotional service I am able to do, I have learned from Avadut Siromani Nityananda. He taught me how to become a devotee. And whatever rasas of emotions with Krishna, I have learned from Ramananda Rai. And whatever interest I have to chant the holy names of the Lord, I have learned from Haridas Thakur. Bhatta, Vallabha, I do not have anything. It is these devotees who possess so much of knowledge, so much of devotion, and by their association, I have become a devotee. Otherwise, I am simply a Mayavadi. And then Lord Chaitanya started listing all the other great devotees, Acharya Ratna, and then Gadadhar, Dhananjay, and all those devotees' names. And Vallabha Bhatt had never heard these names of these devotees. And Vallabha Bhatt asked, where are these people? Where they live? The Lord Chaitanya said, mostly these devotees live in Bengal, but because this is the time of Rath Yatra, these devotees have come to Jagannath Puri to witness the Rath Yatra. And you are so fortunate that they would be arriving. And then for the lunch, because this discussion happened in the morning, Vallabha Bhatt folded his hands and requested Lord Chaitanya that, oh my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord, please come for the lunch along with all these devotees. So Lord Chaitanya comes with all these devotees, Advaita, Nityananda, and all these devotees to take lunch in the house of Vallabha Bhatt. And when Lord Chaitanya comes, Vallabha Bhatt starts serving a lot of prasadam and all those things. He receives all the devotees. He feeds Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar, Ramananda Rai, and everyone, all the devotees of Bengal. They take prasadam. And the next day, Vallabha Bhatt comes with this proposal. Let us read it. Let us read from the mouth of Vallabha Bhatt. I don't know where it is. Okay, this is not. Let me first open it. Where it went? Ah, this one. Okay, this is the one. Yeah. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
ভাগবতেরা টিকা কিছু করিয়াছি লিখন
ভাগবতের টিকা কিছু করিয়াছি লিখন
আপনে মহাপ্রভু যদি করেন শ্রবণ
আপনে মহাপ্রভু যদি করেন শ্রবণ.
So Vallabha Bhatt one day came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the next day and said to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I have written some commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Would your lordship kindly hear it? I have written a very wonderful commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Please do hear it. This is what Vallabha Bhatt said to Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya said, Prabhu kahe Bhagavatarth bujhite na pari. Yes, anyone? What happened?
प्रभु कहे भागवत ना बुझिते ना पारी
भागवतार्थ सुनिते आमी nahi adhikari.
भागवत सुनिते आमी नाही अधिकारी.
The Lord replied, I do not understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Indeed, I am not a suitable person to hear its meaning. Hare Krishna. Understand? Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling, oh Vallabha Bhatt, you have written a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Definitely very nice, but I am not qualified to hear your commentary. I am not even qualified to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. What to speak of hearing the commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam? I am not qualified to hear. And then, I do not understand even Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what Lord said. Basi Krishna nama matra kariye grahane.
वशी कृष्ण नाम मात्र करिए ग्रहणे
संख्या नाम पूर्ण मोरा नाहे रात्रि दिने
संख्या नाम पूर्ण मोरा नाहे रात्रि दिने.
I simply sit and try to chant the holy name of Krishna. Although I chant all day and night, I nevertheless cannot complete the chanting of my prescribed number of rounds. My Guru set me to chant Hare Krishna. I have taken some sankalpa to chant 16 rounds or 20 rounds, 30 rounds, 64 rounds. But I am not able to complete that. I am such a fallen soul. What I will understand Srimad Bhagavatam and what I will understand your commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam. The Lord said, your commentary, Vallabha Bhatt's commentary, what I can understand. I am a simple soul. I have no understanding. So when Vallabha Bhatt hears this, that Lord Chaitanya is not interested to hear the commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam from him, and Lord Chaitanya is interested in chanting holy names, then Vallabha Bhatt says, oh Lord, I will tell you explanations about how to chant holy name. Hare Krishna. I will tell you the glories of holy names. I will give you a class on how great is holy name and what are different meanings of holy names. What is the glory of holy name? How great is holy name? Just imagine, Lord Chaitanya is Sankirtan Pravartak. He has incarnate. Vallabha Bhatt just before one day only, yesterday morning he had come, Vallabha Bhatt, and he was telling that, oh Lord, you have come down to propagate Sankirtan. This was yesterday morning. And today morning, Vallabha Bhatt is coming and telling, oh Lord, I want to tell you the explanations of holy name, Hare Krishna. This is how sometimes pride can affect a person. And then Lord Chaitanya folded his hands, oh Vallabha, what explanations of holy name I would hear from you? I don't know any holy name. I just know two names of Krishna, Yasodanandan and Shyam Sundar. More than that, I don't know. And I do not have the faculty of intelligence to understand the holy name. And then Lord Chaitanya doesn't want it to hear. So what Vallabha Bhatt would do? So he went away. And Kaviraj Goswami says a very nice verse here. So these are all what I said. Prabhu kahe Phalgu. Yeah. Where is that? Okay, I think after this. Okay. I don't know where is that verse went away. Where it is said. Just I will find out that verse. So, so when Vallabha Bhatt, I'm not able to find this verse. So when Vallabha Bhatt could not make Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hear, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood that this Vallabha Bhatt had a pride for long time. That is mentioned somewhere. I'll just open that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew that Vallabha Bhatt had pride for long time. Here. This one. This is the verse. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew this. We will discuss. Bhattera hrudaya dridha abhimana jani. Yeah, anyone?
Bhattera hrudaya dridha abhimana jani.
Bhangi kari Mahaprabhu kahe etavani. Knowing that Vallabha Bhatt's heart was full of pride, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke these words, hinting at how one can learn about devotional service. Vallabha Bhatt was greatly proud of his knowledge in devotional service, and therefore he wanted to speak about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without understanding Lord's position. The Lord therefore hinted in many ways that if Vallabha Bhatt wanted to know what devotional service actually is, he would have to learn from all the devotees. He mentioned beginning with Advaita Acharya, Lord Nityananda, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Rai. As Swarup Damodar has said, if one wants to learn the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam, one must take lessons from a realized soul. One should not proudly think that one can understand the transcendental loving service of the Lord simply by reading books. Hare Krishna. So this is a very important statement that Srila Prabhupada is making. That one should not proudly think that I can understand everything about devotional service by reading books. One must become a servant of a Vaishnava. As Narottam Das Thakur has confirmed, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistar Peche Keva. One cannot be in a transcendental position unless one very faithfully serves a pure Vaishnava. One must accept a Vaishnava Guru, and then by question and answer, one should gradually learn what pure devotional service to Krishna is. That is called the Parampara system. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu realized that Vallabha Bhatt had a pride in his heart about his learning, how great Vaishnava is he, how he has learned so many things, how he can conclusively put forward all the scriptures and all those things, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want to hear his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. And because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want to hear his commentary, none of the devotees entertained Vallabha Bhatt. Ballabha Bhatt wanted to go to every devotee's house and they said, okay, I am busy today, please come tomorrow, we will discuss tomorrow. And all devotees were folding hands and putting dandavats to Ballabha Bhatt, and yes, actually tomorrow I will hear from you, tomorrow. And Ballabha Bhatt went to all devotees' house, every devotee's house, Advaita, Nityananda, every devotee's house, and everyone is telling, oh, you have come, sorry, I was just about to go, I didn't have time today, tomorrow. And then tomorrow the devotees would give some excuse and try to somehow or other. And then Ballabha Bhatt was finding no one to explain his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. What do he do? And then Kaviraj Goswami says that Ballabha Bhatt went to Gadadhar Pandit. Now this Gadadhar Pandit is incarnation of Rukmini Devi. It's a very soft person, just like Rukmini Devi, very, very soft. Kaviraj Goswami says Gadadhar Pandit is so soft that he would speak in a very gentle way, soft way. He was extremely soft and gentle. Now Ballabha Bhatt comes and puts Dandavat to Gadadhar Pandit and says this verse. We will see what Ballabha Bhatt says. O Gadadhar, yes. Dainya kari kahe nilu tomar sarana. Yes, anyone? Huh? What happened? Tumi kripa kari rakho amar jivan. Approaching Gadadhar Pandit with great humility, Ballabha Bhatt said, I have taken shelter of you, my dear sir. Kindly be merciful to me and save my life. Now, this statement looks that Ballabha Bhatt is so humble, right? My goodness, I am Dainyakari, I am accepting your as and I am taking your shelter. Please save me, please save me. And you see next statement what he will make. Ballabha Bhatt would say, Krishna nama vyakhya jadi karah sravan. তবে মোর লজ্জা পঙ্ক হয় প্রক্ষালন. Oh Gadadhar, Ballabha Bhatt said after taking his shelter with humility. Oh Gadadhar, please hear my explanation of the meaning of Lord Krishna's name. In that way, the mud of shame that has come upon me will be washed off. Hare Krishna. No one is ready to hear in Jagannath Puri from me. No one wants to hear my explanation of holy name. And I am feeling so ashamed. No one wants to hear me. I want to speak about holy name. No one wants to hear me. Please, you hear. And then I will feel, I'm feeling so ashamed. No one wants to hear me. If you hear, then this mud of shame, lajja that has come will go away. And then Kaviraj Goswami says that because Gadadhar was so soft, so gentle, he could not tell anything. He could not give excuses to Ballabha Bhatt, and Gadadhar Pandit was not able to do anything, and Ballabha Bhatt would forcefully made Gadadhar Pandit sit, and hours he would say about holy names. Hours and hours he would tell about commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam, and Gadadhar Pandit would think from within, oh, what will happen? What will happen? Oh my Lord, please save me, please save me. What do I do? What do I do? You are not hearing from this person. I am forced to hear from him. Oh Lord, please help me. And then Gadadhar Pandit would think that, oh Lord, you are as Paramatma in my heart, you will understand my intention, but these devotees, they are not Paramatma, they will criticize me. And all the devotees in Jagannath Puri started criticizing Gadadhar Pandit. And this Gadadhar, Lord Chaitanya is not entertaining this Ballabha Bhatt, and this Gadadhar police one and hours he is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam class from this Gadadhar Pandit, from Ballabha Bhatt. Police guy doesn't know anything. And in this way, Ballabha Bhatt would every day come in the morning and forcefully make it was a forceful Bhagavatam class by Vallabha Bhatt to Gadadhar Pandit. And then after, but still Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not hear and all the devotees would not hear. So Vallabha Bhatt wanted to show that how greatly learned he is to especially other devotees like Advaita, Nityananda and all these great souls and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one day Vallabha Bhatt went and spoke to Advaita Acharya. We will see what he will speak. एक दिन भट्ट पुछिला आचार्य रे जीव प्रकृति पति करी मानए कृष्ण रे One day Vallabha Bhatt said to Advaita Acharya, every living entity is female, Prakriti, and considers Krishna as her husband. Yes. Advaita Acharya said yes. Every living entity is Prakriti, female, and Krishna is only Purusha, and the duty of Prakriti is to serve the Purusha. Duty of all of us is to serve Purusha. So Advaita Acharya said, yes, Vallabha Bhatt, what you are telling is true. And then Vallabha Bhatt said, and it is also the duty of a chaste wife that she should not utter the name of her husband. Nowadays, this is not... people nowadays call their husbands' names by their names. But it's the duty of a chaste wife, she should not utter the name of the husband. She should tell with the name of the son, with the name of someone else, but not Aji Sunte Ho and all those things. So, Vallabha Bhatt says, so if we are all female, Prakriti, and Krishna is our Pati, then how can we chant Krishna's names? How can we utter Krishna's names? Advaita Acharya said, I don't know. You see, Advaita Acharya, who is incarnation of Mahavishnu, he is telling he doesn't know. Because he didn't wanted to speak, he didn't wanted to curb the pride of Vallabha Bhatt. So he didn't wanted to bell, something called belling the cat. So he said, I don't know. Here is Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the incarnation of all conclusions. You ask him. So Advaita Acharya guided Vallabha Bhatt to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, look Vallabha, yes, we are all wives of Krishna, we are Prakriti, but it is also the duty of the wife to follow the order of the husband. If you are considering Krishna as our husband and telling on that pretext, telling that we should not chant Krishna's names because a wife should not chant husband's names, so, but a wife should follow the order of husband. And what is the order of our husband Krishna? Satatam kirtayanto mam. Lord Chaitanya quoted from Bhagavad Gita. Every time you should chant my holy names. And Vallabha Bhatt was thoroughly defeated by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he went back and he said, today also I could not defeat. And I was defeated by the arguments. and then again he was planning, and again he came. Hare Krishna, this is last time. This is the last time Vallabha Bhatt came to show his knowledge. And this is really, really, really painful. Really painful what Lord Chaitanya did. But it is required for the operation. What can be done? So this is... okay, where is that verse? Okay, so let me, if we read, then it's already time. We will just discuss it. So Vallabha Bhatt comes, then tells to Lord Chaitanya that this is the last time when Vallabha Bhatt comes and says that I have written a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam which defeats the commentary of Sridhar Swami. Sridhar Swami is the original commentator of Srimad Bhagavatam. He's a very, very great soul. Everyone reads the commentary of Sridhar Swami, and based on the commentary of Sridhar Swami, he writes all commentaries. And Vallabha Bhatt says that, "O Lord Chaitanya, I have written a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam which defeats the commentary of Sridhar Swami." And Lord Chaitanya became very grave this time, very grave. And Lord Chaitanya said, "Anyone who does not accept Swami is considered a prostitute." Hare Krishna. As soon as Lord Chaitanya said to Vallabha Bhatt that if you do not accept Sridhar Swami, Swami means husband, if any lady doesn't accept husband, then she is like a prostitute. Then you are like a prostitute. And when Lord Chaitanya made such a comment to Vallabha Bhatt, it was like too much. Then Vallabha Bhatt made his face down, and all devotees made their faces down because they also didn't expect that Lord Chaitanya would comment like this. And then Vallabha Bhatt goes back. And then throughout the night, Vallabha Bhatt was thinking, "Oh, I am such a proud person." Actually, that comment by Lord Chaitanya shattered the pride of Vallabha Bhatt. And then Vallabha Bhatt throughout the night was meditating that how I have become so proud. I wanted to show my whole learning and all these things. And how Lord Krishna delivered Indra from the pride in Govardhan Leela. Now Krishna, same Krishna as Lord Chaitanya, has delivered me from the pride. And then next day Vallabha Bhatt finally comes and surrenders to Lord Chaitanya and begs forgiveness. And then Lord Chaitanya delivers him and gives him sadupadesh of how, if we want to learn anything, we need to learn from the acharyas. Lord Chaitanya, we will read this, at least this one, because this is important. What Lord Chaitanya finally says to Vallabha Bhatt. I think we can read only the translation. Okay, let's go down. So this is Vallabha Bhatt telling, "My dear Lord, you have cured the blindness of my false pride by smearing my eyes with the ointment of your mercy. You have bestowed so much mercy upon me that my ignorance is now gone." This is what Vallabha Bhatt says. And then, "My dear Lord, I have committed offenses. Please excuse me. I seek shelter of you." Then Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Oh Vallabha, you are both a greatly learned scholar and a great devotee. Wherever there are two such attributes, you are a scholar and you are a great devotee, there cannot be a mountain of false pride. You have dared criticized Sridhar Swami and you have begun your own commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, not accepting his authority. That is your false pride. Sridhar Swami is the spiritual master of the entire world, because by his mercy we can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. I therefore accept him as my spiritual master." This is Lord Chaitanya telling about Sridhar Swami. "Whatever you might write due to false pride, trying to surpass Sridhar Swami, would carry a contrary purport. Therefore, no one would pay attention to it. One who comments on Srimad Bhagavatam following in the footsteps of Sridhar Swami will be honored and accepted by everyone. Put forth your explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam in the footsteps of Sridhar Swami. Giving up your false pride, worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Abandoning your offenses, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the holy names of the Lord. Then very soon you will achieve shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord." So in this way, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Vallabha Bhatt. And then Vallabha Bhatt requested Lord Chaitanya to come again to his house for lunch or dinner. I don't remember what is written there. So, and then all the devotees again come, and there is a sweet ending to this pastime. But we see that how a devotee on a level of acharya can also get affected by false pride, and how careful we need to be on this regard. This is the pride on the level of intelligence, which is very, very subtle, very subtle. And then the top is the pride on the level of ego. The example given is the example of Sudama. Sudama was proud of his poverty. Hare Krishna. Srila Jiva Goswami says in his commentary that Lord Chaitanya met so many poverty-stricken people, and whenever Lord Krishna would meet people with poverty, he would never give any opulence because he knows that these opulences are distractions to his devotional service. So, but Lord Krishna met Sudama and gave so much of wealth to Sudama. Srila Jiva Goswami says that Sudama had little bit of dress. We will read the purport. A little bit of dress. I had just taken it out. I don't know where it is. I have taken so many verses today, so I think this one is. Yeah, this one. No, not this one. Yeah, this one. This is the purport. Sri Jiva Goswami mentions that Sudama's last trace of illusion lay in the subtle pride of being a renounced Brahmana. This trace was also destroyed by his contemplating the Lord's submission to his devotees and giving him all these opulences. So the pride at a level of ego is, I am a nice brahmachari, I am a great brahmachari, I am a nice grihastha, I am a great devotee, I am a renounced person. So these are pride at the level of ego, which we will not discuss elaborately because let us first become a devotee. We are not even a devotee like Sudama, so there is no question of discussing these things. So our problems are more of a mental and intellectual level. Egoistic levels, we are having problems, but it will take some more time. First, let us clear off the mind and intelligence. Then we will discuss more elaborately on this. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we discussed elaborately on pride, and we discussed elaborately the pride at 4 levels. On the level of gross level, thinking that I am the enjoyer of everything out of pride, like Indra. Then the pride at the level of mind, respect, adoration, trying to preach or make followers for getting respect, or speak to get respect. Pride at the level of intelligence, being a learned scholar, trying to have one's own explanation against the acharyas, or trying to be too eager, like Ballava Bhatt, trying to speak. And the 4th, the pride at the level of ego, like Sudama, being a renounced Brahmana or a renounced person or a very great devotee. Hare Krishna. We have very less time. I don't know what all questions you have. So I would request Vijay Prabhu to note down all the questions, and we will discuss all the answers in next class. Yes, one by one, all devotees will ask now questions. Yes, Selja Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is, Uddhav is also proud, or his proud is positive?
Uddhav is proud of what?
Because he thinks that he is the best devotee of Krishna.
No, Uddhav was not proud. Oh, I have started answering the questions. Okay, okay. Let us answer till 8:30, and after 8:30 we will 8:30. Okay. So Uddhav was not proud of being a great devotee of Krishna. Uddhav was not having the knowledge. Was not having the knowledge that knowledge is subservient to rasa. Tattva, it's a very philosophical thing. Tattva is always below rasa. So what is rasa and what is tattva? Rasa is spiritual emotions with Krishna. Tattva is understanding Krishna's position. So Uddhava was thinking that understanding Krishna's position and serving Krishna is the topmost. So Krishna wanted to show to Uddhava that how rasa is greater than tattva. In Dwaraka, in Ayodhya, in Vaikuntha, Tattva is greater than Rasa. Tattva is always a boundary to Rasa. Krishna is great. I am servant to Krishna. This is Tattva. This is right only. This is nothing wrong. Uddhava was not proud. He was concerning. But there is a higher understanding that is only available in Vrindavan. That is Rasa is greater than Tattva, where the Yasoda Maharani is beating Krishna, where Sudama is standing on the back of Krishna. So that is Rasa getting greater than Tattva, where gopis are criticizing Krishna. So Krishna wanted to show to Uddhava the superiority of Rasa over Tattva in Vrindavan Dham. Uddhava was not proud. He was a disciple of Brihaspati, and Brihaspati had said Tattva only, not Rasa. So Krishna wanted to help Uddhava experience Rasa Tattva.
So Prabhuji, as you explained this, I am understanding that Tattva means Dasya Ras.
Tattva means not Dasya Ras, Tattva means Aishwarya of the Lord. And Rasa means Madhurya of the Lord. Tattva means how Lord is great and how I am small and I have to serve the Lord. This is Dasya Ras, definitely. But Krishna wanted to show the higher rasas, that is the Sakhya Ras, where in Sakhya Ras the Aishwarya is completely gone. The Tattva is completely gone. And then Vatshalya, it is more gone. In Sakhya it is equal. In Vatsalya it is higher. And in Madhurya, it is gone, completely gone. It's like, it's not just even higher, it's like trying to punish, trying to speak such words of criticism. You know, the gopis would criticize Krishna as we cannot even hear those words. In Raghunath Das Goswami has written a book called Mukta Charita. If you read how the gopis would criticize Krishna, you would put your hand on the ears, Vishnu, 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 let me not hear. So this is how the gopis would criticize Krishna. So that is how it is. Yeah, it's clear? Okay, next, Syama Priya Mataji, then Sabyasachi Prabhu, then Nidhi Mataji, then Ritu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, so Romaharshana, he heard the knowledge from Vyasadeva. Was there no transformation from him? He heard from the best teacher, and just like how Arjuna heard from Krishna, there was a transformation of character or attitude, whatever. But hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and learning so many things from Vyasadeva, how come he was affected by pride?
Yeah, because Romaharshan Sutta was hearing to speak. He was not hearing to apply. That is a very, very important thing that we should understand, that as we are hearing, even if sometimes we need to hear to speak, like sometimes we need to speak on a subject matter of some Srimad Bhagavatam something, and then for that we do some reading, for that we do some hearing. But Romaharshan Sutta never heard to apply himself on himself. He heard from Vyasadeva so that he can come back to Naimisharanya and so that he can speak to the sages what he heard and establish himself as a nice teacher. Because why would the sages of Naimisharanya hear from him? But by getting an affiliation from Vyasadeva. It's a great affiliation, right? So he was learning from Vyasadeva to get affiliated as a teacher so that people hear from him. So if our hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam is to become a teacher of Srimad Bhagavatam, is to, if our affiliation with a guru is to, if our affiliation with Guru Parampara is to become a guru, The purpose is to become a guru, so that, and who will accept me as a guru if I do not accept my guru? So that is why I accept my guru. Hare Krishna, this is like complete wrong intention. This is what was Romaharshana Sutta, which Balramji pointed it out, that he is just actor reading his play. What is the meaning of actor reading his play? I read it from the director or script writer, and now I'm reading so that I get some adoration and respect. That's what is actor, right? He never means it, he never applies it, he never follows it. So that's how Romaharshana Sutta. And we may also land up into such problems. We may hear, we may make nice notes, but instead of trying to contemplate and meditate of how I can apply what I'm hearing, we are mostly thinking, oh, this is a very nice point. Oh, this point I can speak to others. Oh, this point can have an additional point, which Prabhuji missed it out. So our entire thought process is based on intellectually analyzing and trying to again present it to others to get some adoration and respect, but actually never thinking that how I can apply it in my personal life. Like today's class, oh, proud. So to apply it in personal life is to think, oh, am I proud? How I am proud? In which level I am proud? What are the different instances? Like I can give so many instances where I have felt pride. Honestly, I have spoken it many times in the classes. I have written the books. And I was fortunate that Krishna did my surgery also. So to hear about pride means to meditate. Definitely I would be proud, otherwise I would have been liberated from the material world long before. Let me find out where I am proud, what I am proud of. Am I proud of my learning? What are the instances where I am proud of my learning? So when we do not do self-introspection to improve ourselves, our hearing is only based to speak. Yeah. That's what Romaharshana Sutta did.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
It's a nice class on pride, which is at 4 levels. So basically, we talked about the pride and arrogance. Maybe what were mentioned in the towards sufficed by some of the examples from our scriptures. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, Divine and Demoniac Nature, Krishna talked about these qualities. There are 24 verses in that chapter.
Yeah.
That we okay that if somebody goes through that and read it in terms of the demoniac nature, which creates so-called pride, arrogance, or anger, or lust, whatever Krishna is talking about. And because of that, the living entity creates aparadha. Will that be okay? Or after reading also, we can refer to the further elaborations by the Acharya of their commentaries on different aparadha or different mistakes people do in materially or spiritually.
Yeah. So, if I understand the question, so by reading 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we understand what all, how the pride of the materialistic person is and how one can do aparadhas and all those things. So, regarding the divine and demoniac nature, definitely in the demoniac nature section in the 16th chapter, Krishna elaborately speaks about the pride of a materialistic person. But we didn't discuss that elaborately because aparadh is considered done by a spiritual person only. Materialistic person doesn't do aparadh. Jagai Madhai didn't do aparadh. They did sinful activities. And Jagai Madhai's nature fitted the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the demoniac nature. But we focused on today's discussion more on devotees, because Srimad Bhagavatam class is for devotees. Bhagavad Gita is to make non-devotees as devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam is to make devotees as pure devotees. That is the reason of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is to make a non-devotee to a devotee. Srimad Bhagavatam is to refine a devotee, take a devotee who has done Saranagati to Krishna and refine him to become a pure devotee of the Lord. That is Srimad Bhagavatam, the intention of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we focused more on how devotees can face problems from pride. We see these are all devotees. That's why we didn't took the example of Digvijay Pandit, which Selja Mataji gave or someone gave. I don't remember who gave. Because he was not a devotee. We took specific examples of devotees like Sudama. We took examples of Indra, Vallabha Bhatt. They are great devotees. Indra is a great devotee. Vallabha Bhatt is greatest devotee. And what example? Roma Harshan was a great devotee, great person. He was hearing Bhagavatam and speaking Bhagavatam to the sages. His son is Sutta Goswami, who spoke Srimad Bhagavatam, which we are reading. Great devotee. So we took these examples to show that how the effect of pride in the life of a devotee is different in the effect of pride in the life of a non-devotee. The non-devotee, the effects of the pride helps him to do sinful activities, but a devotee, the effect of the pride can be more serious and can lead to offenses. This is the first thing. Second thing is, as far as aparadhas are concerned, our acharyas have expertly listed down all the aparadhas. So we do not have to speculate or think whether I am doing aparadha or not doing aparadha or what. It's listed and we learn it. We will read it in due course of our explanation. What are aparadhas? What are different ways we can do aparadhas? And so that we are safeguarding ourselves from aparadhas. But aparadhas are generally done by a spiritual person because he is ignorant about, or he is falsely proud. Is clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Should we take it like this, that taking it you from your comment, that sometimes ignorance can be a bliss to some persons?
Yeah, ignorance is definitely a bliss, but that bliss costs a lot. It can take us to hellish planets. It can take us, give us a lot of material sufferings. So it's a bliss for someone who is ignorant, but someone who is knowledgeable, it's really a suffering, right? Even an ignorant person also suffers. He may not suffer the consequences of aparadh, he suffers the consequences of sinful activities. Anyway, he suffers. So, in that way. Haribol. Yes, Haribol. Nidhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, what I was asking is this pride not an inevitable nature of a human being? And if it is, then what do a person do to get out of this pride? And how does Krishna also helps in delivering the person out of pride?
Yeah. So that is why we will read the section of Daksha and Lord Shiva, how to get out of pride. We were discussing about pride, its ill effects and all those things. That was the topic of today's class. How to get out of pride. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Narad Muni says to Yudhishthir Maharaj in 7th canto, 15th chapter, Dambham Mahat Upashaya. One can get rid of pride by Mahat Upasaya, by serving great souls. So we will discuss elaborately on it in our explanations. I just gave the clue. Dambham Mahat Upasaya, 7, 15. I don't remember the verse number. Somewhere in the 15th chapter in the 7th canto, Narad Muni says that one can get rid of pride. Narad Muni actually tells all the anarthas and all anarthas how they can be purified. Asankalpat jayat kama. It starts with like that. If you search in Google, Asankalpat jayat kama, it will come all the verses in series, and in one verse, how to curb pride, how to curb envy, how to curb lust. So in pride, Narad Muni says that Mahadupasaya, by serving great souls with humility, by serving Guru with humility, by serving great souls with humility, one can curb pride. That's what is Srimad Bhagavatam
And
says.
is pride not an inevitable nature of human beings?
Yeah, for a human being is basically a conditioned living entity. Human being is not our eternal nature, right? The soul's eternal nature is servant of Krishna, but human being is a conditional nature, and that is why it has become an inevitable thing, pride.
But we are also talking about pure devotees who were in pride, like Sudama.
Yeah, so they were in pride. There were traces of pride, last traces of pride, which were going away. So, so it is a process. It's not that zero pride and one pride. It is not like that. It's a process of tapering the pride at all levels. First, the pride of gross levels will go away slowly, and the subtlest pride will take more time. Even after practicing devotional service, also the pride may be there and it will go away. And Krishna is there, don't worry. Krishna is purifying Sudama, Krishna is purifying Vallabha, Krishna is purifying Romarshana, Krishna is purifying Indra, Krishna will purify me and you. Don't worry. We do not have to worry. We have to just be ready for Krishna's purification. That's it. Just be ready. Be prepared. Sit down. Close your, what is it? Put your seat belts on. And lift off. Yes, Ritu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you for this wonderful class. So my question is that जैसे हमें बोला जाता है कि हमें मायावादी से इवन हमें उनसे बात नहीं करना चाहिए, मीन्स शास्त्र वगैरह से उनसे मैत्री नहीं करना चाहिए. As you told कि महाप्रभु तो संन्यास तो मायावादी संन्यासी. So why Prabhu? मतलब he wants to teach something or he wants to glorify Mayavadi?
Mayavadi, Lord Chaitanya wanted to deliver Mayavadis. So that time, sannyas, Lord Chaitanya wanted to renounce. And the only sannyasis that were available, the reason for Lord Chaitanya taking renounced order is that he will have the respectability so that he can spread Krishna consciousness. See, you need certain amount of respectability to spread Krishna consciousness. When Lord Chaitanya was speaking about Krishna, the residents of Navadvip were misunderstanding him, were disrespecting him. When Lord Chaitanya in Navadvip was speaking about Vyakaran or grammar, everyone was respecting Nimai Pandit. But when he started speaking about Krishna, everyone started disrespecting him. So Lord Chaitanya said, all are disrespecting me, and because I am not just Nimai Pandit, I am the Supreme Lord, it is not just a sinful activity to disrespect, it is also a aparadh to the Supreme Lord. And I have taken the incarnation in disguise. So what do I do? So if I take sannyas, then people will automatically respect me. People will automatically put dandavats to me. And by that, they will also do devotional service because I am Krishna. They will be, just like Ajamila, he was calling Narayan as the son, but he got the benefit of calling Narayan. So people, when put dandavat to Lord Chaitanya, thinking that he is a sannyasi, I need to put dandavat, because that was a social custom that time. But they are actually putting dandavat to Krishna. So they will get the benefit. Thinking like that, Lord Chaitanya wanted to take sannyas. But when he wanted to take sannyas, the only sannyasis that were available were Mayavadi sannyasis. Where do we get? He cannot take sannyas himself. So he approached the Mayavadi sannyasi, and Mayavadi sannyasis were the most respectable sannyasis in India at that time. And Lord Chaitanya took sannyas. And then he delivered the Mayavadis. He delivered Prakasananda Saraswati. He delivered his own guru, Keshav Bharati. He delivered 60,000 sannyasis of Mayavad school. He delivered in Varanasi. Right? But that sannyas in Mayavad order gave him an opportunity to debate with the Mayavadis, because they consider him as the same class, and by that he delivered. And also that allowed other people to respect him. But we are not Lord Chaitanya. So that is why we should be very careful of Mayavad. Very, very careful. Bhagavan Acharya, it comes in the Anta Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrit. Anyone wants to read it can read it. Anta Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrit, 2nd chapter, chastisement of Chota Haridas. In that chapter, the story of Bhagavan Acharya comes. Bhagavan Acharya had one of his younger brother, who studied Mayavad in Varanasi, and who was expert in grammar. So he was reading Mayavad and all those things, and he comes back to Jagannath Puri, and Bhagavan Acharya wants to hear, to understand ki kya hai ye Mayavad. And Swarup Damodar says, don't hear it. And Bhagavan Acharya says, we have fully understood that we are servants of Krishna. What will happen to us? So Swarup Damodar Goswami says, never underestimate the power of material energy. Never hear Mayavad. That's what you can read the section. Mayavad is very, very dangerous. We should never hear Mayavad. But if we encounter a Mayavadi sannyasi, we should also offer respect, dandavats, but we should not hear from them, because we are respecting to the renounced order. We are offering respect to the renounced order, but we should not hear Mayavad. It is specifically designed by Lord Shiva, who came in the role of Sankaracharya to delude sinful people with contaminated intelligence. Mayavada asat sastram. Lord Shiva says to Parvati Devi, Mayavada asat sastram. Kalau brahmana murtinam. I will spread Mayavad, which is a asat sastra, in Kalyuga, coming in the form of a Brahmana. It comes in Padma Puran. Lord Shiva speaking to Parvati Devi. Is clear? Yeah. Next. Last question.
Just maybe taking your answers from Bhagavad Gita, then you compare it to Bhagavatam. Does it like that? People in the material platform, they can commit sins, and people in the spiritual platform, be it a devotee, preacher, or maybe spiritual master, can often create offenses. So Bhagavad Gita deals with sins, and Bhagavatam and discussing it can deal with offenses because of the misjudgment, because of the own perception, because of the own assumption. Will that be like this, Prabhu?
Yes, primarily that is the subject matter, but Srimad Bhagavatam also deals with sinful activities of different persons, but primarily because Srimad Bhagavatam is dealing with devotees, so that is the primary subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the primary subject matter of Chaitanya Charitamrit is to explain Rasa Tattva. The first is become from a non-devotee become a devotee, that is Bhagavad Gita. From a devotee become a pure devotee, Suddha Bhakta, Srimad Bhagavatam. And a Suddha Bhakta become a Rasika Bhakta, that is Chaitanya Charitamrit, to develop spiritual emotions. So these are 3 levels: Abhakta, Bhakta, Suddha Bhakta, Premi Bhakta or Rasika Bhakta. So these are all different literatures, and there are other literatures also, but these 3 are the primary literatures that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised us, or our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas have advised us, that Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Bhagavata or Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hare Krishna. Yes? Can we end? Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran ki Jai, Vancha Kalpataru Vaishya Kripa Sindhu Veva Jabatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.